Ever feel like you're stuck? Like on a treadmill, you're putting in all this effort, but going nowhere.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people feel that way, honestly. But today we're diving deep into something that can help. Optimizing your life.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean productivity hacks. We're talking about real happiness, real purpose.
Right. Like what actually makes life worth living? That's where positive psychology comes in.
It's about making your actions line up with, your core values.
Exactly. It's not just checking things off a to-do list. It's about feeling fulfilled.
So we're going to give you a 5-step framework.
Think of it like a roadmap.
To help you feel energized and focused, even when life gets crazy.
Even when life gets crazy.
Even when life gets crazy.
Okay, so step 1, question everything.
Seriously, everything.
Look at your routines, your commitments, even those habits you've had forever. Ask yourself, why am I doing this?
So often we're just doing, we forget to check if those actions are helping us reach our goals.
It's like we're on autopilot.
So how do we actually do this questioning thing?
Yeah.
And make real changes?
Well, we've got a simple exercise. Grab a pen and paper. Ready?
All right, got it.
First, brainstorm all the values that come to mind, like honesty, kindness, creativity, adventure, whatever feels important.
Don't overthink it, right?
Exactly. Just let it flow.
Okay, then what?
Okay, so next, look at that big list.
Got it.
And pick your top, maybe 5 to 10.
The ones that are non-negotiable.
Exactly. Your guiding stars.
Okay, and then?
Now define each one. What does honesty actually mean to you?
Make it personal.
Yeah? Write it down.
I like that.
Okay, now it gets interesting.
Uh-oh.
Look at what you're doing each day. Are you spending your time, in a way that matches those values?
I bet for a lot of people there's a disconnect.
Often there is. We might say family is super important, but then work late every night.
Or, say we value our health but never exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
It really makes you think. I remember when I finally questioned this habit I had of saying yes to everything.
Oh, tell me about it.
I thought I was being helpful.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just felt drained and resentful.
I've been there. We want to please everyone, but it just leads to burnout.
Yeah. It's not selfish to set boundaries,
No, not at all. It's about protecting your time, your energy.
For the things that really matter. And the funny thing is, once I started saying no more, people actually respected me more.
It's true. Because true respect comes from, living by your values.
All right, so we've questioned our habits and figured out our core values. What's next?
Time to hit delete. We got to declutter our lives.
Like cleaning out the closet.
That too. But also mental and emotional clutter. Anything that's draining us or blocking our progress, it's got to go.
That sounds amazing, but kind of scary. Where do we even start?
Well, there are a few key areas to focus on. First, activities and commitments. Look at your calendar, your to-do list. Anything you can just stop doing. Or delegate.
Like I always say, sometimes saying no is the kindest thing you could do.
You got it. For yourself and the other person, saying no lets you focus on what you can commit to with all your energy.
Okay, I'm with you. So that's activities. What's next?
Let's talk about tech.
Oh.
It's an amazing tool, but also major distraction, major stress.
Social media, emails,
Oh,
the news. It's like information overload.
right. So set boundaries doesn't mean becoming a technophobe.
No, I get that.
It's about being mindful of how you use it, when you use it.
Like scheduling time for emails and social media.
Exactly. And then stick to it.
Easier said than done.
Mm.
Okay, but what about those unhealthy habits we all have? The ones that keep us from feeling our best.
Those definitely go on the delete list. Key is gradual replacement, not deprivation. Focus on what you're gaining, not giving up.
So if I want to cut back on sugar, I shouldn't dwell on the chocolate cake I can't have.
Oh.
I should focus on how good I'll feel. More energy, better skin.
Exactly. And you know what? Last area to declutter might be the toughest.
Don't tell me.
Relationships. Yeah, it gets personal, but it's important. We need to figure out if the people in our lives are adding to our well-being or taking away from it.
This doesn't mean ditching anyone going through a tough time.
No. It's about surrounding yourself with people who support your growth, bring positive energy.
Creating a circle of support, people who inspire you. But what if you have, relationships that are draining, but you can't just walk away?
Then you set boundaries, limit your exposure, and focus on nurturing the good ones, the ones that lift you up.
All right, so we've questioned everything, decluttered our lives. That's a lot.
Yeah.
What's next on this journey to optimize ourselves?
Now that you've cleared the space, it's time to optimize. We're shifting our focus to activities that match our values, our goals. Doing the right things, not just more things.
Exactly. It's all about quality over quantity, making those activities really count.
I like that. So how do we actually figure that out, what the right things are, and how do we even fit them all in without, becoming some super organized robot? No one wants to be a robot, but there are some great techniques for prioritizing, and they won't drive you crazy, I promise. Have you ever tried time blocking?
I've tried it, but I'm not going to lie, I end up ignoring my own schedule half the time.
Yeah.
Life just, it gets in the way.
It happens. But that's where the optimization comes in. Instead of giving up on time blocking altogether, think about what makes you go off track. Are the blocks too rigid, too long? Are there always these unexpected things popping up? Once you see the problem, you can tweak things.
Okay, so it's like an ongoing experiment.
Exactly. Now, another tool you might like is the Eisenhower matrix. It's about, putting tasks into categories based on how urgent they are and how important. It helps you see where to focus.
Okay, break that down for me. How does that work?
So picture a grid, right? One side is urgent, the other is important. So you've got these 4 boxes.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The urgent and important stuff, that's your do now pile, like deadlines, crises,
The things you can't ignore.
Exactly. Then you've got important, but not urgent. That's stuff like long-term projects, working on yourself, relationships, things that matter for your big goals, but won't explode if you don't do them right this second.
Yeah, that's where a lot of my goals end up, sadly, just sitting there.
Well, that's where this matrix helps. It shines a light on those important but not urgent things so they don't get lost.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the other 2 boxes on that grid?
Urgent but not important, those are often distractions disguised as priorities, like answering emails that aren't really urgent or going to meetings that should have been emails.
Oh, I'm guilty of that.
Here's where you delegate or politely say
I
no.
might get better at that. Okay, what about the last box?
Not urgent, not important. That's honestly the time waster zone. Mindless scrolling, binge watching shows you don't even like, stuff that doesn't bring you joy or get you closer to your goals.
Ouch, that one hurts.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. So knowing this grid, it helps me see those activities for what they are, time wasters. Now, earlier you mentioned the Pareto principle. What is that and how does it fit in here?
So the Pareto principle, it's also called the 80-20 rule. Basically, it says that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. Powerful, right?
Wow, yeah.
Reminds us that not all tasks are created equal.
So we need to find that magic 20%, the stuff that really makes a difference. But how do we know what those activities are?
You got to look back at your week, your month, even the past year. Think about what really got you results, what made you feel good, like you accomplished something.
So it's not just working harder, it's working smarter. I get it. Okay, we've talked about questioning, deleting, and now optimizing. What's the next step in this whole life transformation thing?
Time to accelerate.
Accelerate. Sounds exciting. Like we're going to hit the gas pedal and, zoom towards our goals. But there's this one little problem, procrastination. It's like that sneaky villain holding us back.
You're so right. Procrastination can be a huge roadblock. But the good news is there are ways to beat it and really shift into high gear.
Okay, tell me, how do we break free from procrastination?
First, we got to understand it. Procrastination, it's not laziness, even though people think that. It's often more about fear.
Fear.
Yeah, or perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed.
That makes sense. I know sometimes I put things off because I'm afraid of messing up.
Yeah.
Or not being good enough. Those impossibly high standards I set for myself.
Exactly. So step 1 is to acknowledge those feelings, challenge those thoughts that are holding you back. Remind yourself that progress is what matters, not perfection.
Okay, I like that. Progress over perfection. But once we've, dealt with those feelings, how do we actually get ourselves to take action?
Deadlines. Having clear deadlines is huge, but not just any deadlines. They got to be specific, realistic, and something that motivates you.
So instead of saying, oh, I'll finish this project sometime this month, I should pick a specific date and time.
Yes. And break those big goals down into smaller steps. Make it feel less overwhelming. Plus, then you get to celebrate those small wins along the way.
I like that. I definitely find I'm more likely to actually do something if I have a clear plan with smaller steps.
Yeah.
Not just this huge, overwhelming task.
Absolutely. Another thing that helps is accountability. Tell someone about your goal. A friend, a mentor, even post it online.
So knowing other people are watching kind of keeps you on track.
It does. It's like tapping into that need for connection, for support. And hey, don't forget about tools, task management apps, calendars, even just sticky notes.
Oh yeah, I love visual reminders. There's something so satisfying about checking things off a list.
It gives you that sense of progress, that momentum, which then makes you want to keep going.
Makes sense. All right, so we've questioned, we've deleted, we've optimized, we've accelerated. What's the final step in this life optimization journey?
Time to automate.
Ooh, automate. Sounds futuristic.
It kind of is. We've got all this technology that can help us streamline things, free up our time for the stuff that really matters.
Okay, I'm all for that. But sometimes all the tech options out there, it's overwhelming. Where do we even start?
Start with the parts of your life that feel like the biggest time sucks. What drains your energy? Managing money, chores, emails.
All of the above. Honestly, yes to all of those.
Well, good news, there are solutions. For finances, think about online banking. Automate those bill payments, set up savings goals, even track your investments, all automatically.
That would be amazing. So much less stress.
Right. And for chores, there are smart home devices, services that'll do your cleaning or laundry, even apps that'll deliver your groceries.
Wow, it's like having a personal assistant, but without having to, actually pay someone.
Exactly. What about work? Any tasks there that could be automated?
Oh, definitely.
There's project management software, communication platforms, email filters, all kinds of things to help you work smarter, not harder.
I'm starting to see how this could really make a difference. Like if I could automate all those little boring tasks, I'd have so much more time and energy for things I actually enjoy.
Exactly. It's about using technology to create more freedom and flexibility in your life.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered all 5 steps. Question, delete, optimize, accelerate, automate. That's a pretty powerful framework, but is it really that simple?
Well, the steps themselves are simple, but it does take effort. You got to commit. The magic happens when you actually use these steps in your life day after day, make them a habit.
So it's not like a one-time fix-it-all solution. It's more like an ongoing thing.
It is. It's a journey about living and growing. But how do we stay motivated, keep the momentum going?
Yeah, that's a good question. How do we make sure this isn't just a temporary thing?
It's all about creating a life you love, right? Not just like a quick fix. So we need to keep the momentum going even when things get tough.
Okay, I'm listening. What are the secrets?
Well, one of the most important things is accountability. You got to check in with yourself regularly, see how you're doing, set new goals, adjust your approach if you need to.
It's like being your own life coach.
Exactly. But even coaches need support, right? So be kind to yourself, especially when things don't go perfectly. Remember, this is a process. It takes time. It's okay to mess up sometimes.
It's so easy to get down on yourself when you're trying to improve.
I know. So celebrate those wins, even the small ones. And take care of yourself.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what else helps us stay on track?
Don't underestimate the power of having people in your corner. Find your tribe. People who encourage you, inspire you, a mentor, a group, even just friends who get it.
It's like having your own cheerleading squad.
Exactly. They'll celebrate with you, pick you up when you're down, and offer advice.
This has been amazing. We've learned so much about optimizing our lives, from those tiny habits to big life changes.
And most importantly, we've learned that it's a journey. It's about making choices that feel good, taking care of ourselves, and always growing.
And hey, we don't have to do it alone. We're all in this together.
So true. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into optimizing your life. We hope you got a lot out of it.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. And leave a comment. Tell us what you learned. What changes are you going to make? We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep optimizing.